Welcome to Pocket Woman Lockpicking and Lock Sport. Today is my review of the Bare Bones Lockpicking plastic tipped tweezers. Now what you get in your packet is you get 9 different profiles and a handle. The handle's pretty cool, it's got bare bones on it. What I would suggest you do is pick yourself up some extra handles. I'll go into why shortly. Let's have a look at the actual tips. Now as you see, I've got 2 already loaded up. So you've got your wide flats. One of these wide flats, which is it, comes with a little groove already in it. Now that's the only one of these profiles that does come with a groove. The advantage of all of these tips is that you can mold them, you can shape them to whatever your needs are. Easily done with some needle files. Round one, you can create a new set of pin grabbers, or you can do a tiny tip on them for grabbing those tiny little springs. Now let's look at the advantages of having plastic tipped tweezers. One is it's made out of ABS plastic, which is nice and strong. So you're not going to have any problems sanding them or moulding them. That's the first one. The second one is, let's go out a bit. Let's bring in the tray. Okay. Now, you've got your normal pinning tweezers. Yeah, they're pretty good. They work well. They grab hold of things. However, what happens to them is they become magnetized. Doesn't matter what you do, they become magnetized. So if you've ever tried to load up a Bible with springs that are magnetized, that are moving around on you, that you have no control of, that you have to keep readjusting to get them back in the posi, to try and get them in there, and then you try and put them in. It's a bit of a hassle. It can add another 20 minutes to try and load up your pens. So, advantage. You've got your one you've modified to pick up the exact size springs and pins you want. So you can just easily pick it up, load your Bible, and all is sweet. Look how quick that was compared to trying to fight with a pair of tweezers that's become magnetized. Now with these tweezers, you can modify them to suit any size spools you're trying to pick up. Any size pins. These are the wider ones. These ones are the most tiniest ones. So if you've got a set of, say, Sparrows tweezers, you will struggle to pick up American and Master Lock pins. However, as you can see, these tweezers have been made to suit them nicely. Less than a minute on the file, and you've got yourself a pair of tweezers that can help you pin up a lock without any hassle. And they do all sizes because you can make them to suit all sizes. So I have specifically made these ones to suit the tiny stuff. So let's take a look at the other advantage. If you've ever been sent a wicked challenge lock where someone has decided that they're gonna stick in a magnet, and you've gone to repin that lock, you're gonna try and progressive pin in it because you've never had magnets before and you thought, okay, I'll start with pin 1, let's pull it apart. And then every time you go to load up your chambers, you just... How are you going to put something like that back in a Bible when it's attached like that to your tweezers? Well, you can't. It's impossible. You're just fighting it. And then when you go across, you got to pick that up, and then, oh my God, before you know it, you've lost everything out of their position, and you've got yourself a magnetic mess. And you have to go back to your photos and find out where did everything go, and this is a bit of a challenge lock with magnets in it. However, get your plastic tip bones, issue goes away. Look at that. I can go over any of these, no one's getting picked up. There's no cross-contamination from picking one pin up and then moving across your pinning tray and collecting all the others. Now that is a huge advantage. So let's look at how you put these together. Well, they're dead easy. Bones have made them dead easy. So you can do it with the same the same tools you use on any of the other locks. So if you're pulling locks apart, you've already experienced tiny little screws. So the same tools you use for those, you can use for these. Yeah, these are tiny. But if you're pulling locks apart, you're used to working with tiny. Now this is a 0. Yeah, it fits in snug. It works nice. This is a 1. It's a posi drive, nice and pointy. And that also fits in nice. So the same you can use for all. That's a big advantage. Don't have to go out and buy yourself a set of tiny little things, just use what you've got. Now I'm going to show you how easy it is to put one of these together. Now on these you'll notice that there's an indent and you've got these little raised centering holes. So you use everything like that to your advantage. I'll show you how it's done. So grab your bits, put it there, hold on to it, Dead easy. Place it on the bench. Hold on to it. Or you can put both in it at once. So these holes do the centering for you. Nice and snug. So put them down. Get them centered. You've got them in position. Make sure everything is squared away. Everything is level, matching, and nice, which it will be because you've got those centering lugs that are going to help you do it. Now you just grab, and that's the other thing, a lot of your tools will end up being magnetized, which is one of the things that can magnetize your tweezers. So this, it's not an issue. Center it, pushing down with your finger to hold everything in place, so become a human clamp. Hold everything so it maintains the center. Screw it in a little bit. Don't screw it all the way down just yet, because you want to be able to make any adjustments that you may need to make. Put the next one in. Screw that in. Now, if you're happy with your centering, you've got everything lined up or feels flush along your tweezer, everything's nice down that end, pushing down, being the human clamp. Keep screwing it down until it does not screw down anymore. Nice and tight, give it the last turn. There you go. Now, as you can see, everyone is nice on the inside. Put the next one in, turn your tweezers over, center those with your centering, place it down. Make sure you're all lined up. Be your human clamp. Hold it into position. Grab your little screw. Line it up. Put your screw in. Grab your little screw. Capital. Fighting with magnets. Screw it down, don't do it fully, just double check you're nice and flush, you're happy with it centering. Finish it off, screw it down nice and tight. Now if you screw it and you find you're out of center, just release your pin, you release your screw. Release the other one. Realign. Hold it tighter next time and screw it down. Screw them down evenly. You avoid twisting or binding. There we go. How easy is that? You've got yourself a pair of tweezers ready for anything. So you can see how the recess fits nice, screws are in nice. So you can modify this, so you can shave it down with your files, you can round the tips off, you can put a groove down the centre of your tips, you can do anything you need to do to these ABS plastic tips to make them suit your needs. These are tips for customization. You can customize these tips to do whatever you want. If you find the tip is not thin enough for you when you're going down a tiny Bible like this and you think, oh, it's a bit wide and none of them suit, well, shave it down, get your file out and make it thinner. Make the tweezers do what you want them to do. Now the advantage of having some extra ones are these. Now these are like $14, $15. These are like $3. So, and that's just a rough, there's $2 something, So these, as you can see, one's longer than the other. So the advantage of having multiple tweezers is that, one, you won't have to change tweezers heads over. You can just set it up for a particular lot that might need one or two different types of tweezer head, like you're doing magnets, you've got springs, so you just set it up for your magnets, set it up for your springs. You've got two different tweezers that you can work with, interchange for your needs. That is the big advantage of these plastic tipped tweezers. You can make them for whatever you need. They are comfortable to hold. They don't take a lot of finger pressure to keep them closed. It's very light. The grip strength you need is not a whole lot to be able to close them. In comparison, the grip strength you need to close these is a lot greater. So what I find is I struggle to hold these closed for long periods of time when I am fighting with a spring that won't go in because my tweezers are magnetized. Yes, I have tried this to demagnetize my tweezers. This is useless. These are what has saved me many times trying to pin up a lock and fighting the magnetized tweezers, fighting the springs to go in. No longer is that fight happening because I have customized a pair of tweezers for use, specifically for picking up magnetized pins, and I will be customizing another set for tiny, tiny springs. That's the advantages. Disadvantages, well, I haven't actually come across any yet. So I've been using these consistently for a month now, and I haven't had any disadvantages. Get yourself some extra handles, well worth the extra couple of bucks. Set up as many tweezers with the tips you need. There's no disadvantage. If you just have the one set of tweezer base, well, yeah, there could be a disadvantage in if you decide, oh, I need the other set of tips on this. Yeah, it'll take you, how long did it take me? Less than 30 seconds to change the tips over. So that's my review of the bare bones lockpicking plastic tipped tweezers and why I have enjoyed using them, the advantages I have found using them, and I have not found any disadvantages. Yes, the screws are tiny, however, all the parts we come across in locks are tiny. If you're used to pulling locks apart and stuff, you're used to tiny screws. And bare bones does supply a lot of those little screws for you. So if you find you've lost one, there's plenty in the packet. Just use your little files to modify them as you see fit. A little bit of sandpaper, if there's any plastic burrs that come up, you can use your square tip one, your diamond tip one to create a groove, your round one for your pins. Very handy tweezers. So I'd like to thank Bare Bones Lockpicking for hooking me up with these tweezers, for putting me onto them. I never thought I would need them until I could not demagnetize my tweezers, until I got a challenge lock with magnet pins, and until I struggled and struggled to load up chambers because the springs have attached to my tweezers because everything was magnetized. Thanks for watching. I know it's a long one. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can find Bare Bones Lockpicking. It's dead easy to find, just bareboneslockpicking.com. They're coming out with some new stuff, so I'll be doing another review of some cool things coming out starting November. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay legal. Temptation is everywhere.